Hi everyone, no frost, no problem. Today I'm going to share with you 4 vegetables you must plant in September if you live in a frost-free climate. Now, those of us that live in frost-free winter climates that are warmer with more mild temperatures in the winter sometimes have a dilemma. If we plant our cool weather vegetables too soon, when most of the country is planting their fall garden, it's way too hot still and the cool weather veggies just don't make it. But if we plant too late into the fall or in the early winter, we're pulling out our warm weather vegetables and we don't have anything to plant or anything to harvest. So today I'm going to share with you 5 really easy to grow crops that you must plant in September if you live in a frost-free winter zone. All these vegetables are very easy to grow. You can direct seed them right in your garden beds, in your containers, a big space, a small space. You're going to love growing them. Now, the first vegetable are peas. Peas are the easiest of easy cool weather vegetables to grow. My cucumbers here are just about to the end of their life. So planting peas at the bottom allows me to have something to harvest as the cucumbers are finishing up. And since it's cooling down here in Southern California now in the 70s, peas are going to thrive. You're going to have a fresh, crunchy, tasty garden snack in about 6 weeks. Now you can start your seeds indoors if you want, which I started these a couple of weeks ago here. Not quite ready to plant outside. So we're going to take the easy route and direct seed some beautiful sugar snap peas from my fall garden seed collection right at the base of this trellis. And if you've got kids, grab your kids. They're going to love planting and growing peas because they pop up so fast. And they're so sweet. So they literally take minutes to plant. Just pour a few in your hand. You want to plant your peas about 2 inches apart. Plant a nice little row here that will climb up nicely up this trellis. The other advantage to planting peas now in September is you've still got some cucumbers left. So on those random hot days, the cucumbers will shade the peas and give them a little protection from the heat. Vegetable number 2 are greens. I go crazy planting greens in September here in Southern California because it ensures that I have a fresh, tasty, beautiful, colorful salads to eat all winter long until the weather gets too warm in the spring. Now here are some greens I planted a little bit too early. It was too hot and you can see they just kind of fried. So now that the weather's cooling down, we're going to plant some of my favorite greens here under this trellis. So as long as the cucumbers are here and the weather's still a little bit on the warm side, they will shade them again and the greens will do great. So a couple of my favorite varieties, All-Star Gourmet Lettuce Mix. This is a beautiful, colorful, leafy lettuce. The seeds are in my Grow Your Groceries with CaliKim Fall Green September subscription box. And by the way, that box is only available until this Friday, September 22nd. So grab it while you can. It's got 4 varieties of delicious fall greens, and these are easy to grow. A little bit more on the heat tolerant side, but you're going to absolutely love growing this beautiful leafy salad mix in your garden. So I'm just sprinkling them along here. And actually lettuce doesn't need light to germinate, so I'm just going to tamp down the seeds just a little bit. You can get $9 off your first box with the code FUNFALLGREENS over at CaliKimGardenandHome.com. Another one of my very favorite greens to grow is arugula. We did a full video on fall greens a few weeks ago. You can go back and check that out for more details. This is the runaway arugula. It grows super fast. And one of the reasons I love planting fall greens is they're so easy to plant from seed. You can also start seeds indoors if you want to, but it's really easy just to sprinkle down the seeds. And with almost no effort, make sure you water it though, and as long as the weather is 75 or under, they grow like crazy and you've got your salads. Now the arugula, I am going to cover up just a little bit with a little sprinkle of soil. Definitely one of the easiest cool weather vegetables, cool weather greens to grow in September. Now the cool thing about greens too, if it's still too hot where you live in a southern climate, you can start your seeds indoors like I did here. We've got some lettuce, mustard greens, and pak choi. And you can also plant them in containers, which makes them really flexible. So here we've got some of the beautiful red pak choi from last month's Grow Your Groceries box and the scarlet frilled mustard green. So those are 2 other ones that work really great to plant in September. Some other really easy to grow greens are chard, beautiful red chard from my fall garden seed collection, a rainbow Swiss chard, some kale back here, and these are not only very heat tolerant, they're cold tolerant, and if you do happen to get that occasional frost in a frost-free zone, they're gonna be just fine. Over here is one of my all-time favorite greens, and that is endive. So tons and tons of greens that you can plant now in your frost-free zone in your September garden. Vegetable number 3 is broccoli. Planting broccoli in September in a frost-free area gives it plenty of time to grow and develop into nice hardy heads. Now here in my garden in the wintertime, I don't get a lot of sun, so I always like to get broccoli planted early in September, so I make the most of the hours of daylight that I do have. So when it comes to broccoli, I have a couple of different options. A quicker maturing broccoli like a broccolini or a broccoli rabe, or a larger, more hardier broccoli like a Waltham broccoli. You can direct sow or start from seed indoors, either one of them. So here I'm going to plant my 6-week-old seedling that I have growing here in my Grow Your Groceries with CaliKim subscription box. They're really fun to plant into. Just going to pull it out. And we're going to plant it right in little shorty. So it's a smaller variety, very well suited to containers. And I'm just going to kind of tuck it in here. I had a little tomato plant that got eaten by some bugs. I'm going to tuck it in here right next to my other little tomato plant. And once the tomato is done producing, the broccoli will be growing, we'll be harvesting it, and it's just going to be so much fun to just keep the harvest rolling in. So I already put worm castings and some compost here in this hole. We're going to plant it kind of deep down in the hole because it's a little bit of a leggy seedling. Kind of prop some more soil up against the taller stem there to give it a little bit of support. And now that the weather's cooling down in the 70s, this Sorrento broccoli is really going to thrive. And broccolini is a really nice broccoli to plant if you don't have much space or you just want to harvest quicker. You can harvest these in about 6 weeks as opposed to 8 to 10 weeks from a larger variety like Waltham broccoli. For you southern frost-free area gardeners who want to grow the full-size Waltham broccoli, you can find seeds in my fall garden seed collection. It's a beautiful, super tasty variety to grow. You can get all my seed collections for 20% off right now with the code FALLVIBES, and you also get a free onion seed collection and a Grow Your Groceries with CaliKim magnet with your purchase, and that sale ends tomorrow on September 21st. Vegetable number 4 is cabbage. Get your cabbage planted now in September. The cooler temperatures mean less pest pressure from cabbage worms and aphids, and your cabbage is really going to thrive. I recommend planting smaller mini varieties. They take less time to go from seed to harvest, about 6 weeks as opposed to 10 weeks for the larger varieties. Much easier to grow and super delicious. So I've got a couple of my favorites right here. 2 of my favorite smaller varieties are the Minuet cabbage. This is a small mini cabbage from last month's subscription box. 6 weeks old seedling, 10-day-old seedling. So you can see the difference between the two. This one will be ready to plant outside in about 2 weeks. This one is ready now. Another one of my favorites is the Red Acre cabbage from the Fall Garden Seed Collection. A nice smaller variety, beautiful red color, super sweet. I know you're gonna love growing both of those. So we're gonna plant this little seedling here, right in my raised bed. Pull it out. And when I'm planting my cooler vegetables in September, I like to look for little holes in my raised beds where I can just kind of tuck the seedlings in. Here we've still got tomatoes and cucumbers that aren't quite finished. So we're going to pop them in the little hole here that I've dug. Amended it with some worm castings and compost. And this is a good little spot here along in this raised bed along the back side of my fence to maximize the sunlight that I do get in September and into the winter months. Just pop it in there, makes quick work of it, and we're all done. If you're a frost-free climate southern gardener, what I want you to do is get out in your garden this week. Get these 4 veggies planted. In about 6 to 8 weeks, you'll be harvesting some delicious, fresh, cool weather veggies. You'll be so glad you took the time to do it now here in September. Got all the resources you need over at CaliKimGardenandHome.com. Fall Garden Seed Collection with 14 varieties, 20% off with the code FALLVIBES. And you'll also get a free onion seed collection and a Grow Your Groceries with CaliKim magnet with your purchase. And you gotta grab the September Grow Your Groceries with CaliKim subscription box. Fun fall greens is the theme. You get 4 varieties of greens, seeds, soil, all kinds of fun stuff. $9 off with the code FUNFALLGREENS, and you also get a free bottle of Vermistera worm casting tea with your purchase. It's only available until Friday, September 22nd. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.